Good evening. Welcome back to Tarot Tales. We took a little bit of time off, but I'm here together again for another show that combines the power of storytelling with
Salamat, Julita
tarot.
Managaytay Trip.
Sorry, audio feedback. Some external audio is going on, but welcome again to the show that combines storytelling with tarot. I got a little overwhelmed with doing the show on a weekly basis and then took some time off. I think we all kind of are going up and down a little with the pandemic, and some weeks it's all right and kind of happy to play indoors, and other times it's not socializing, not as much, not seeing people. It's tough. Job search. I'm looking for work. It's a difficult time for all that, and it can be overwhelming. And full confession, what really kind of burned me out was I did a show where I did an entire show, like 40 minutes, and it didn't go out on the stream. Like it went out, it went to nobody. It didn't get recorded. It's just lost forever in the sands of time, and that really took the wind out of my sails. So tonight I'm doing something I've wanted to do for a long time. And I was interested in seeing if we could get other storytellers to do this, but I wanted to try it out just with myself before I put the pressure of improvising on other people. I wanted to see how it actually works with the pressure of the live stream. I've been practicing today telling stories. But basically what I've done is I have my favorite deck of tarot cards. It's the tarot of... restoration of the Jean Noblet Tarot of 1650, restored by Jean-Claude Flournoy. I bought this from his widow. It was hand-cut and stenciled in his workshop in France. And outside of like my car and my computer and things I need to be productive and like my phone and necessities, this is probably my most cherished possession. Like it's the thing I would worry about if I had to grab something in a fire. It would be this deck. And so what I'm going to do is draw 7 cards from the deck that's been shuffled, and I'm going to then, on the spot, improvise a story based off of those 7 cards. It's a little bit like the stand-up comedy open mic and show called Set List, where you get on stage and you don't know what you're going to talk about, and they reveal a set list of topics, and you have to come up with jokes on those on the spot. And I thought, well, I like that a lot, but what if instead of set lists and jokes, we did storytelling and archetypal imagery? And I'm going to do a 7-card spread because that makes it easy to sort of see things develop. There's a good beginning, middle, and an end that works well with the 7 cards for storytelling. So without further ado, here are the cards I will be basing my story on. The first card is the moon, and that's a particularly powerful card. There's a crayfish emerging from a lake. But there's 2 towers with a wolf and a dog between them, and so it represents sort of the unconscious minds, things surfacing from the depths of our personality. The domesticated the domesticated dog versus the wild wolf, and it's all under the light of the moon. So that's a good spot for a story to begin. Those are intriguing origins. Lots of things begin with our unconscious desires and things surfacing from our unconscious mind. And then the next card is La Papesse, sometimes called the High Priestess or the Female Pope, and she represents sort of arcane knowledge, scholarly learning, and spiritual development, as well as feminine power, and also a very good card for to base a story around. The third card is Justice, and how much of how like, what would stories be without themes of pursuing justice or justice being thwarted or the seeking it or struggling with what the just thing to do is? And The next card is forgive my French pronunciation, La Bateleur, the Magician, which is a strong card for sort of creating your own reality, but also the ability to manifest things, to make things happen in the world, but with an element of deceit, a little bit of trickery, like things aren't quite what they appear. The success indicated by this card might not be substantial or lasting. It might be built on a false foundation. The fifth card is the Hermit, and it's solitary action, holding the light, holding the lamp forward in the darkness, standing up for what's right, going against the grain of society, things of that nature, and also just taking a needed retreat from things, which I think is something that's pretty universally identifiable with. The sixth card is La Mort, Death, and this is one of the cool things about the Jean Noblet tarot is in later later productions of the Marseille tarot, due to superstition, the 13th arcana is just unlabeled. It's just 13th. And even though there's a picture of death, it's not referred to explicitly as death. But for this deck in 1650, it was explicitly labeled. And you can see the Reaper with his scythe, and there's hands and heads coming out of the ground. And traditionally in tarot, death does not mean physical death. It's the end of something, and rebirth, and often opening new chapters. But it can also, there is a note of sadness to it. It's not a negative card that most people fear it to be, but it's also it is a difficult one at times. It takes some work to sort of overcome the situation. And now for the final card for the story is Le Monde, the world. This is in the major arcana of tarot. There are 22 cards, but they're not labeled 1 through 22. They're labeled 0 through 21. So this is the 21st card. This is the end of the series. It sort of returns back to the beginning. There are there's a garland divided into 4 quadrants with what is traditionally a hermaphroditic dancer or an androgynous dancer in the middle, and then there are 4 beasts in the corners, and those represent the elements of earth, water, fire, and air. Or additionally, because tarot is a product of medieval Christendom, there's a lot of Christian imagery in it, and they can also be equated to the 4 evangelists, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. And I think that's a good card to end a story on, because it's sort of a return to the beginning. There's a conclusion there, but there's also an initiation, and it's like, no story ever really ends. We end it for, we choose to stop stories at certain points for narrative effect, but it's an endless ongoing weave of time. So those are the cards we're going to be working with, and now I have to take them all in and come up with a story. And so what I see for this is I don't know how many people are tuning in and how familiar with myself you might be if you're watching, but I'm actually pretty liberal. But I grew up convinced I was a young Republican, and with this odd creature emerging from the depths, this reminds me of I graduated college, I left home, and I moved to San Diego to go work for the Republican Party. And there was I didn't realize sort of the conflict between some of what I was doing and some of my more buried beliefs, but that what sort of grew out of the out of the unconsciousness there was I really liked there's a part of my shadow side that I like trickery. Like we played hardball on this campaign. It was a city council campaign. It wasn't a huge office, but like we did spend like $250,000. Our campaign spent like $250,000 through on the mail and some other limited advertising and stuff. I mean, it's not like presidential politics money, but you know, it's still there's money's being spent to win this race. And one of my favorite things was sort of the scheming and the strategizing of it all. And like we would there are people in politics called trackers, and like once you declare that you're running for office, almost anytime you speak in public, someone is going to be there in the audience audio taping you. Like every public appearance, you just have to assume you're being audio taped. And like we got great audio tape of some of our opponents, and then we would get them to publicly deny things they've said, and then walk them right into the audio tape of them contradicting themselves. And that was like delicious. I like the idea of setting traps. It was like fantastic. It really it spoke to me, and there was a period of time where I wanted to continue to work in politics, but I also was of her nuts that